Welcome to a 1v1 on Langreskaya. As you all know, it's my absolute favorite map, which I say 100% sarcastically. This game is going to be BananaInPajamas as Oster in the north versus Multi playing as Americans in the south. We've got Mechanized Assault, Lightning War, Close Air Support against Rifle Company, Infantry, and Armor. It's pretty standard stuff. Nothing too surprising. Probably going to see Infantry Company since that's probably the best Langreskaya commander for U.S. forces, all things considered. And from BananaInPajamas, I'm mostly expecting Mechanized Assault, possibly Lightning War. I don't know, maybe Close Air Support. We've certainly seen from Captain Price that Close Air Support can work, although it may take a million years to win. Definitely get the job done eventually. Using most of your fuel in the early game to survive and then slowly building up to tier 3 or tier 4. You'll eventually outproduce and overwhelm your opponent. Seems a pretty solid strategy, though it may not yield interesting games. And we're going to have a very aggressive push for the right side of the map by Multi here in the early game. Decapturing the cutoff before positioning himself in cover. MG42 being positioned here in his base to push the American player off his cutoff. Rear echelon troops will be first to retreat or die. Rifle squad in the building, also forced to retreat by brute force fire from Grenadiers. There go the rear echelons, wiped on retreat because they retreated far too late. Grenadiers is taking heavy bleed though, need to retreat as well. And there they go. And riflemen are moving to take control of the munitions here, trying to force away those pioneers, trying to engage at range for now. Grenadiers are not available to support. He's still cut off in the north here. Needs to get something into that capture circle, get that back under control. His economy is suffering horribly right now. Every second that goes by without that cutoff hurts like crazy for Oster. He needs that fuel, +4 fuel coming in. That's terrible. He doesn't even have the strategic points to the left of his base. MG42 moves up to finally get that back, but riflemen have been reinforced and refielded back to the right side and are putting immense pressure on Banana right now. And a sniper has been fielded by Banana to try and equalize the manpower game if at all possible. Fortunately, Multi has gone captain tier. I don't think that Banana knows this yet. I don't know if he's counted rifle squads or not. Not sure if he's able to tell that there's 4 on the field currently. I'm pretty sure he's only ever seen 3 at a time.
Ambulance taking the field.
The 4th squad, he probably knows. All 4 squads have engaged, so probably managed to count that and assume captain tier. 4 rifles into lieutenant tier is actually perfectly viable though into an AA half track. So I don't know it's captain tier for sure when you see 4 riflemen, but it's quite likely. He hasn't seen a commander selection either. Rifle company or infantry company usually indicate captain tier. Airborne usually indicates lieutenant tier. But again, those are not guarantees, they're just guidelines. But fortunately for BananaInPajamas, his opponent has indeed gone captain tier. So no M20 is going to come hunting for that sniper. Teller mine is available to sort of protect the sniper, but it's not anywhere near the sniper. Sniper should probably hover in the general area where that teller mine is and make sure to screen that thing with Grenadiers as much as possible. Multi going to go the Stewart maybe next. He probably wants some kind of light vehicle to hunt that thing down. He hasn't purchased any weapon upgrades and he hasn't picked a commander, so he has no real solution to that sniper yet other than a perfectly executed flank with riflemen in the retreat path. Which seems unlikely to happen. Grenadiers getting shot at on the retreat. Probably gonna escape unless Multi executes some sort of blocking maneuver here, which he does not. And they should get away just fine. Feel like he got a little bit lazy on that. I think he could have wiped that if he wanted to.
Capture point is under attack. Ready for action. Keep their heads down.
Captain moving with rifle support into the road. MG42 is available for this engagement, but it's facing completely the wrong way. Sniper is also available for this engagement. And it looks like it's gonna go to Banana. Maybe. 2 more squads of riflemen arriving to support, actually, so maybe not. MG has to retreat. Grenadiers will be next. Sniper is not firing frequently enough. And these squads are falling dangerously low. MG42 has to pull back to base. Grenadier squad has to pull back to base. Sniper up to 7 kills. Once it hits Vet 1, he can start popping incendiary rounds. Needs to stay away. Needs to stay away from the captain because one bazooka hit could snipe him and kill him if he's taken any damage, which he has. Sniping the captain now, up to 9 kills. 9 kills at 8 minutes. Not terrible, but not very good. Certainly nowhere on the level of a Captain Price sniper, for example. Averaging sometimes 2 or even 3 kills per minute or higher. This one's at about 1 kill per minute. So, minor manpower bleed, but nothing that multi can't handle. And a Steward is now on the field, making its way to the front lines to try to engage. If he can nail that sniper with a good Steward round, take it out on retreat, that would certainly go a long way. There's 1 teller mine to protect the sniper. Sniper somewhat nearby. Grenadiers retreat across the teller mine, that's good. Sniper could have baited a little, slightly more nuanced baiting with the sniper would have been good, but it looks like it won't even be necessary. Maybe. Oh, there it is. Barely nicked it. I wasn't sure it was going to hit that teller mine or not, but it did like a little rotational maneuver and hit it with the back left corner, I think. Alright. So despite Banana not really nuancing the sniper in such a way as to lure the Steward over there, which he easily could have, the Steward will dive straight into that teller mine and go down, so teller mine pays off big time. Nice play by BananaInPajamas for sure, and he will be able to get his sniper. Just playing it really safe with that sniper. You can take full advantage of the sniper's camouflage, move him in such a way to really get that Steward to drive straight over that teller mine. Bait a little bit more, slightly tighter baiting, and you can you won't have that near miss right there. If that Steward had driven right by that teller mine, that would have been very frustrating. So, something to think about. But either way, the Steward's dead. So it will free up the sniper to engage a little bit, but he might want to be careful. Getting a little close to that corner right there. MG42 is available to support though, and he will begin firing on the captain again. That squad will retreat. These 2 squads equipped with LMGs. Grenadiers providing vision from the house. Rifle grenade onto that clump. Oh, that grenade was brutal. Huge grenade. Pack howitzer produced by Multi now to try and pin down or suppress Grenadier blobs. So Banana's going to have to spread himself out a little bit here in the future.
Back to full strength. A capture point is under attack.
And I feel like this is an overextension. This is an oddly aggressive maneuver for that MG42 to make. Might be able to decap this point, but odds are he's going to end up retreating this rather than repositioning it to safety, especially if that happens. So I'm not sure I agree with that decision. Panzer Grenadiers moving for the cutoff, though. Geez, that Packhauser's bringing that thing down quick. Sniper moving to try and exchange a little bit. I feel like that might get stolen. Oh, it's going to get laser beamed down quick. Run, little machine gun. No! Barely. Jeez. He almost handed that machine gun to his opponent just for what? To shut down +5 munitions and +3 fuel for like 30 seconds? Is that really worth handing your opponent a machine gun? You need to think carefully before just walking across this road like that with an unsupported team weapon. Speaking of economic harassment, because the Panzer Grenadiers did manage to take this cutoff, gonna hurt Multi's economy pretty decent amount. Since he's gone captain tier, doesn't have that much fuel in the bank, going major tier now, and he's probably gonna transition into tier 4 units from this point forward. Against a sniper, he may consider a Scott, may just go straight for Sherman. Banana has no anti-tank yet at all, and he's He's actually pretty lucky that the steward died to the teller mine, because if it hadn't, then he would have had to drop a lot of manpower on an AT gun or some sort of, anti-tank solution. The steward being dead definitely opens up a lot of options for him. Captain chased away on the right side by that Grenadier squad, getting the fuel back. Sniper making its way to support back in the center. MG42 and Grenadiers moving to assist as well. And these squads are going to heal and reinforce in the base. A couple squads making their way to engage. Riflemen there.
MG42! Welcome to the death factory, boys. Stick with me and you might just make it. All done over here. Squad is back to full strength. Dirt is ours.
Sniper. Oh god, get that thing away from those LMG riflemen. Need to use camo. Need to use max range. LMGs will laser beam that sniper down very quickly if left exposed. Switching targets to the Grenadiers over here. MG42 trying to get in range to support. LMG riflemen are just killing everything. Just set that machine gun up in so much danger. Oh, terrible series of engagements. Everything forced to retreat after taking massive manpower bleed and trading only one rifleman model from a sniper shot. Not a good series of engagements right there. Completely pushed off the map. BananaInPajamas has not picked a commander yet. Clearly, obviously, Multi has gone infantry company. Which I said at the beginning, probably a good Langreskaya commander. Certainly a good Langreskaya commander. It has indirect fire options, it has the LMGs. Has all of your long range needs, and you can build yourself green cover, which on Langreskaya is a precious commodity. Of course, with rear echelon troops you could do that anyway, but it's nice to be able to do so with riflemen, not just rear echelons, since his rear echelons are dead. And he hasn't felt a particular need to field extra ones since his capping power is obviously not suffering at all. Excellent map control, having no problem out capping an Oyster player that's gone sniper, and has only gotten 15 kills in 15 minutes, averaging 1 kill per minute. Not enough to get a real return on that investment. You really need to get that thing up to at least 1.5, 2 kills a minute, and it's harder than it sounds, I know. It's very hard to keep that thing firing all game long. You basically, when you go sniper opening, need to be microing this unit at all times to keep it firing and keep the manpower drain going on your opponent. That is critical to any sniper opening. You really cannot utilize it just as a nice little utility for taking out team weapons or units in houses or something. It needs to be firing from the moment it hits the field to the moment it either dies or the game ends. MG42s are not even firing a single burst. Not even a single burst before LMGs force them to retreat. Rifle grenade into the building. Almost takes it down, but not quite. Sniper taking shots at range is up to 18 kills now, trying to catch up a little bit. It's a little behind. MG42 reinforcing in the base. Pyo's working on the right side. Most of Multi's forces heading left to counter-harass. We've got Grenadiers in the house. Panzergren's moving for a triple cap. Well, double cap. He doesn't have the center. Panzer Grenadiers jump back in the house when they spot the captain moving up the right flank. These Grenadiers will be the first to retreat, falling quite low here. Might try and turn the engagement with a rifle grenade. Pack howitzer firing in the house gets a nice shot off on the building, and Grenadiers will make full retreat. I think. Never mind. Simply leaving the house for now to go engage the captain in the north. Panzer Grenadiers on the flank of these riflemen don't really do all that much damage and will be forced to retreat as well. And a Scot is on the field for more indirect fire from Multi. Pretty decent decision. If you can get a miracle hit on that sniper, it will go down. If you can get a miracle hit with the pack howitzer, it will go down. So either way, pretty good options.
What the hell am I meant to do with these recruits?
But a Panzer IV is on the field, which it will, of course, provide Banana with a very nice counter to the M8A1. But one AT gun is available to protect if necessary. Scott is moving up to take shots at range, but he has no vision currently. And Rifleman will get the left side back under control while Banana recollects himself in his base, does a little healing and reinforcement, tries to mobilize some troops back to the front lines. Two squads of Riflemen moving to harass the right side. Look like they're going to encounter at least a partial S-mine field. Doesn't quite finish it. Gets a couple S-mines down. Will force the retreat right there. Panzer IV moving up to assist. Exposes its rear armor. But it will bleed those riflemen hard. I'm surprised it didn't at least attempt a burst on that sniper. Probably could have forced a retreat. Scott moving up to assist in engagements, taking shots at infantry. Oh, with pack howitzer support, gets a big hit on those grenadiers. Panzer IV circles back around to screen the Scott away. The AT gun is in position. Should that Panzer IV get too aggressive and expose its rear armor? Does not have vision though, fortunately. Engagement happening for the right side. We'll see white phosphorus. No, time on target. Sorry. Time on target artillery dropped on a grenadier squad. I don't know what he thought that was gonna do. Rifle grenade forces the retreat from those riflemen right there. And against Oster, the only thing you can really do with time on target artillery is destroy decrewed team weapons. We've seen that used against the decrewed anti-tank gun before. It's a good way to get that off the field if you have no other solution and you have a decent amount of munitions to spare. Otherwise, your munitions are better spent on more LMGs. More LMGs, maybe white phosphorus rounds on your mortar half-track or pack howitzer if you have one. Since you probably went captain tier because you're infantry company. Oh! AT gun gets cleared by a rifle grenade from the right side, I think. Some kind of explosion decrewed that thing. And the Panzer IV really wants to chase down the Scott. Oh, he gets the shot through the hedge. Did you see that play? I don't know if he had vision. I don't think so. I don't think he had vision. I think that was just a really well placed attack ground order. Perfect. And the Scott goes down. Grenadiers have to retreat from pack howitzer fire right there. Meanwhile, harassing the left side, those Grenadiers get that under control. Panzer IV will receive repairs here in the back. And Grenadiers are moving up, take control of the munitions.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points. Promotion just came through.
Riflemen forcing away. Those Grenadiers, what's happening over here? Sniper taking shots at the captain. Sniper still not really doing that great, honestly. 20 minutes in, 22 kills, still doing slightly less than, or slightly more than 1 kill per minute. Just barely. Nice pickup over here, though, thanks to friendly fire. That pack howitzer just blasted that, what was that, a major? Or, it looked like friendly fire, maybe not, I don't know. Something died. But it looks like it was the major. Major just died, yeah. Grenadiers take him out at close range. AT gun getting a little aggressive. I don't know why he's placing his AT gun so close to the front line when his opponent doesn't even have any vehicles. He needs to be careful with that thing. If his opponent steals it, it's going to be a huge problem later. Machine gun setup. Screen against any advance across this road. Rifle grenade off target. Sniper moving up to assist in engagements. Pack howitzer firing. Needs to be careful with that sniper under pack howitzer fire. But the pack howitzer is currently repositioning, and this Panzer IV is making its way back into engagements. The entire left side will fall back into Multi's hands, thanks to the efforts of those riflemen over there, but it will weaken his front line and allow Banana to get a little bit aggressive. Try and take out priority targets while he has an opportunity. Panzer IV falls a little low though, and he's going to move to harass in the north instead, rather than engaging anti-tank weaponry frontally. And it looks like Multi may lose control of his cutoff a little bit. Capping elsewhere on the map, plus the manpower investment into these team weapons is causing him to struggle in these infantry engagements. His opponent has a sniper, 3 Grens, and Panzer Grenadiers. Very strong infantry army, when half of the infantry on the opponent's half of the map is tied up in capping. Pack howitzer bombarding across the side, but those overextended riflemen will get wiped. Crossing that road is very dangerous to do. That's all it takes. Ah! Fortunately, pack howitzer trades quite nicely. Gotta be careful with those wounded, very heavily wounded squads under indirect fire. That's what's gonna happen. He was kind of asking for that, sticking around with probably only a third of that squad's health left. You can call that RNG, but honestly, that's kind of asking for it. A full health squad dying, maybe. An almost 1/3 health squad dying, though, that's gonna happen eventually. It's just a matter of time.
Capture complete. They got a 0.
Sherman is on the field. Probably misses his Scott. Scott didn't have very dramatic of an impact, and I think he just feels he needs something with a little more health. He doesn't want to lose his Scott in 2 shots to a Panzer IV, AT gunfire, whatever it is. Sherman. We actually saw the exact same thing in Starcross Kings. DBMB went Scott, it died in 2 shots to whatever, and then he went Sherman. And just fired through the hedge with HE shells because he couldn't risk a Scott is too squishy. Let's see if he can keep this thing alive, maybe get some kills. Making its way north, it will encounter some Panzer Shrek'd up Panzer Grenadiers, take some pretty nasty volley right there, and needs to disengage rather than crushing aggressively. The AT gun moving into the road. Needs to be careful. If it gets screened, it could get stolen. It's trying to land an attack round, but the elevation difference right here will make that very difficult. As you can see, it's shooting uphill, hits the dirt twice, needs to pull back to safety. Screening infantry has arrived. And there it goes. Panzer IV receiving repairs here in the back will be available to engage again soon. Banana has gone Lightning War, so I assume he intends to go Tiger rather than Tier 4. No close air support for him this game. Panzerfaust connects with the Sherman over here on the left. He will lose that squad almost certainly, though. Way too much in his retreat path. That happens again. Happens the second time to Banana. He overextended a rifle squad while there are effective counter-harassment units on the field. Harassment of territory is something you have to really have a very good sense of when to do it. You should not harass if you have no idea where your opponent's Sherman is. Sending a lone squad that deep when you don't know when your opponent's Sherman is pretty much just saying, here, kill this squad. What is this maneuver? This is insane. What is he doing? He might get the ambulance picked up right here, but I can't believe what he's doing. He is handing this AT gun to his opponent. That is suicide. What are you doing, Banana? I mean, okay, he picked up the ambulance. I can respect that. But the last thing you want to do on this map is hand your opponent the best anti-tank gun in the game. Wow, I don't know what that was. That AT gun just died to medics. They have 3 kills. It literally died to medics. Wow, that is terrible. Okay, well, fortunately, his opponent also overextended his AT gun over here.
Under fire. Under attack. Combat promotion. Enemy tank is cutting us off.
There's the Tiger. Tiger on the field to engage this stuff.
We lost an anti-tank gun.
Anti-tank gun. Ooh. Cleared. Tiger getting really aggressive. Diving straight into the US base. There's no anti-tank. Nothing to save that Sherman. Down to just a tiny sliver. The captain's bazookas are the only thing that can save him. There's the long shot. Tiger should be able to get to safety, I think. Honestly, he's taking kind of a lot of damage from bazooka fire. I'm not sure he's gonna get clear. Both of those bazooka shots just bounced. He does have the high explosive anti-tank barrage on the pack howitzer, but I don't think anything's gonna connect. Oh, there it is, the long-range bazooka snipe. 1 out of 4 bazooka shots finally penetrates, and that Tiger was so close to getting away clean. So close. Handing this AT gun to his opponent certainly doesn't help either. Tiger goes down to that hero captain model. Good work, soldier. You took out that... Look at him, he's like, oh my god. I can't believe it, I'm alive and that Tiger is dead. That's a fucking Medal of Honor. He's not in it for the awards or the recognition though, he's just doing his duty. Well, that's why he's here, to do his job.
What the hell am I meant to do with these recruits? Green, knock it off. Listen up. Shit, follow me. T-42!
Defensive stance going down. Oh, nasty shot right there. Incendiary round will force the retreat. Panzer Grenadiers are no longer combat capable against infantry unless they get hilarious RNG, which they might. It could happen, you never know. Same thing goes for the bazookas. Captain pops on me to give him a little bit of a speed boost, trying to hunt down that sniper, but the Panzer IV has been mostly repaired and will be available to screen. There's an American AT gun over here, there's a German AT gun over here. Ironically, both of those weapons are more effectively against the targets they're now fighting than the targets they're built to fight. American AT gun pretty overpowered against American armor, German AT gun pretty OP against German armor. So, tanks are going to struggle a little bit as the game continues. American AT guns high range and rate of fire makes it super good against allied tanks. German AT guns high penetration and target weak point makes it super good against Tigers and Panzer IVs and other high value targets that you need to take down at long range. Won't bounce quite as frequently.
Crowds are sniffing around our asses. Tactical point being captured. Keep it going! Fire on 'em! Changing mags! Supply line just got cut off. Answer! Ready! Contact!
Sniper's mad at these medics for killing the AT gun. Oh my god, if that sniper dies to these medics. Okay. Multi retreated. I would have gone all in. I would have said, let's do it. I would have jumped in there with that medic and tried to kill the sniper with the pistol, point blank range, but apparently Multi didn't like that engagement and attempted to retreat. Got nailed on retreat anyway, so honestly, he should have just stuck around and hoped for the best. Sniper went down to about half health, if we're being fair and honest about that engagement. Medics versus sniper. It's a pretty close engagement, apparently. LMG 42 dropped in the road. More Grenadiers wiped. So many dead Grenadiers this game. So many of them unnecessary wipes. This one looks like it was probably an unnecessary wipe since he was standing too close to the opening right here. Just pull back and defend. Play a little bit more defensively. Know when to get aggressive, when not to. Without tank support, you're probably not going to make anything happen. The Panzer IV is still receiving repairs here in the back. If I'm being honest, Multi is really on the back foot though. Suffered a lot of losses, and as the game drags on, being forced to contend against Tigers is going to get very difficult. He's really quite lucky that that bazooka snipe killed that Tiger, because if that had not happened, he'd be facing off against a Tiger right now with almost barely any anti-tank, except for that Jackson. Of course, Jackson performs very well against the Tiger now. You can micro it very carefully, and especially on this map, you would have a tool with which to contend with the Tiger, and you can tell that it's having a dramatic impact keeping that Panzer IV at bay. So I don't know, it's just going to come down to better positioning, better usage of team weapons, better supporting infantry. On this map, things tend to last a while. And the OSR versus US forces matchup is supposed to be pretty even now at all stages of the game. I still feel like US forces is a little strong early on, but here in the late game, Jackson versus Tiger matchup, especially on this map, should favor Jackson's really for cost. Which almost makes me think Banana should consider tier 4 and get Panthers because they're more efficient for pop cap. If this game's gonna last all day, then it might be worth a try. Or maybe you just throw out more anti-tank infantry, experiment a little. I'm sure he's just gonna go for a second Tiger, but I just think that the way Jackson's perform against Tigers now, it's a little hard to utilize them. Especially if your opponent has also gone airborne. Fortunately, Multi has gone infantry, so there's no P-47s turning to tank engagements in Multi's favor. But he's going to have very tight tank micro, AT gun micro to turn tank engagements in his favor with this Jackson on the field. Jackson misses a shot through the hedge of the Panzer IV. How's the sniper doing? Sniper up to 49 kills. It's kind of coming into its own. It's finally caught up a little bit. Definitely doing better than a kill per minute now. Nowhere near 2 kills per minute, but still 1.7 kills per minute or whatever that is. That's definitely respectable. It took a long time, but he's gotten a return on the investment. Kept it alive all game, and as long as you can do that, eventually you'll get that return. Start pulling ahead in the manpower game. American AT gun moves up to support against the Sherman. That's got to pull back. pack howitzers a serious threat to those grenadiers. G43 is upgraded on them to make them better at medium range. He must be intending to utilize that squad mostly for defense of the victory point here. This might be one of the only places where you really have medium range engagements on this map. Maybe for aggressive harassment here as well, but usually you want LMGs. They're also cheaper. If he's hurting for munitions and wants to save for close air support, I could definitely see the G43s. And if you lose that squad, it's less munitions lost. And he's lost a lot of Grenadier squads. I can actually check in the middle of the game how many he's lost. He has lost, I think. How do I do it? Maybe I can't. Never mind, I don't know. Oh, there's a lull in the action. Let me try and figure this out. How do I switch to Axis? I look at... Damn it, Relic. Is this not possible? It should be. It should totally be possible. I cannot look at Banana's stats on this screen. Okay, well... Okay. He's lost some amount of Grenadiers. Some non-zero amount that feels like 4? I don't know, I haven't been counting. Oh! Shot through the hedge does connect. Panzer IV pulls back, trying to play it safe. Good fuel harassment here on the left. The American fuel game is still very relevant. BananaInPajamas fuel game also still quite relevant. The game has not run nearly long enough for fuel to become a non-issue. Infantry engagements haven't quite been lethal enough. Big, huge hits on that Panzer IV. It must pull to safety. Pack howitzer shots. Oh, finally! Just a matter of time. It finally goes down. Sherman shot blasts that sniper. He had about 50 kills when he went down. Had a pretty good lifetime. Very respectable. I think BananaInPajamas could probably safely consider repurchasing him if he wanted to wait for his Tiger, which I'm sure he doesn't, but... He got a good return on that investment. It sort of sucks to lose him at such a pivotal moment, though. Getting pushed completely off the map, he may lose control of his cutoff. Big push by Multi here with his Sherman. And Jackson pushing away the Panzer IV. The fact that he's bleeding so much manpower, delaying his Tiger, making him weak. And Multi capitalizes on that. Completely clears out the center. Destroys the stolen AT gun. He'd rather have the German AT gun at this point, I assume. Healing that up here in the base. It's going to be very powerful. A German AT gun and a Jackson against a Tiger. That's terrifying. That is a terrifying matchup to have to go into for Banana. I do not envy him right now. Multi getting aggressive, taking control of this half of the map quite well. Goes for the munitions first. Not even going to try for the cutoff. I think he just wants to play the victory point game a little bit right now. Trying to defend the center. There is a Tiger on the field. He's going to have to manage that threat. What just got wiped? Rear echelon troops right there just got wiped. That's no big deal. He can replace those. Easy come, easy go. Tiger exposes itself to Jackson fire right there. It will not suffer engine damage. It's trying to wipe the infantry squad rather than engage these tanks. Trying to play the manpower game a little bit. Unsuccessful though. Panzer IV is available to support in this engagement. Jackson is so exposed. He was really late to pull that thing back to safety. He's just barely in the fog of war though. Banana wanted to get in there. Some close range damage on that Jackson, but was unsuccessful. Time on target artillery just got dropped in a completely nonsensical location. If your opponent does that, you should just blob like crazy. You should just bait those munitions expenditures. Just hold still with a blob for a couple seconds. See if he takes the bait and then move, because that's not going to hit anything if you're paying even a remote amount of attention. Some players will drop artillery on a blob even knowing full well that it's not going to hit. They're just going to be praying that you're not paying attention. That being said, there is a pack howitzer on the field, so you don't want to blob too hard. You don't want to get, like, blasted and suppressed and forced to retreat.
A capture point is under attack. What the hell
You can tell Banana's struggling. He's got a decent amount of repair power, but that Tiger's effects have been limited. If he gets too aggressive against the Jackson, kited to death, shot by the AT gun, wherever that decides to position itself, it's going to be a huge problem. I don't think that a second Tiger is something he can afford to lose. If that goes down the drain, he'll probably get outproduced. Second Sherman is already making its way to the field, and Multi's infantry army is still looking pretty strong, and with the sniper dead, Banana no longer has that really powerful weapon with which to bleed his opponent's manpower in turn. Infantry engagements in his favor. He really needs the Panzer IV and Tiger to pick up the anti-infantry slack. Panzer Grenadiers will be a nice tool against that Jackson if Tiger can't get into close range. But currently the Rifleman LMG swarm is proving very difficult for him to deal with, and he needs the Tiger to take massive shots on this while it's blobbed up like that. Nice map harassment regardless. He's still maintaining excellent map control. Really, he's been the one harassing Fuel for the last 10 minutes, not the US player. And you can tell that the manpower game is kind of in Banana's favor if that's the case. He has that one extra squad that he can dedicate to capping. Again, lone squad harassment. Dangerous. I don't know if that squad is even going to get away. If the Sherman felt so inclined, why would it go this way? If it had driven this way, I'm pretty sure that's a dead Grenadier squad. Panzer IV is available to protect this retreat path at least. MG42 and Pios moving up on the right flank to see if they can make something happen. Jackson's exposed, but he doesn't have vision. Ooh, huge hit on those Pios. They need to get out of there. What is this retreat? Far too late to retreat right there. MG42 will be forced to retreat. Big push by the AT gun. He's going to cross the road. He's going to try and go all in on this Tiger, but he has the wrong round type equipped. Throw on armor-piercing rounds. The Jackson is not available for this engagement. It has taken too much damage, and I think that may have been an overextension. Bundle grenade from the back. Panzer Grenadiers drop a Panzer Shrek. Oh no. Panzer Grenadiers drop a Shrek behind enemy lines. The bundle grenade does not quite clear the AT gun, but the MG will if it doesn't move. Just standing there. Alright, so much for that thing. AT gun gets cleared. Sherman in the general area of the screen. Packhauser's now Vet 2. Jackson and Sherman receiving some repairs. And the Tiger is back for some repairs as well. He had 3 squads of Pios, down to 2 now. Kind of taking a little while to get his stuff repaired. Panzer IV and Tiger keep on taking a long time to repair. Auster generally gets out repaired by US forces because every single US forces vehicle can repair itself. They repair in constant time basically. Whereas Auster vehicles will repair in linear time. That's a programming term. I don't know why I use that terminology. An audience probably has no idea what I'm talking about. Basically, US repairs faster, is what I'm trying to say. And as a result, Banana's forced off the field for a while. Multi's gonna get back to the front line quite soon. Time on target artillery dropped on the tier 2 structure. Doesn't do honestly all that much. 2 Shermans moving to wipe again. Way overextended Grenadiers. That's asking for it. Asking for it so bad. He's so lucky both of those shells just missed. I still don't think he's gonna get away though. No, that's dead. No vision on his opponent's Shermans, and he sends a lone squad to harass. How many squads is he gonna lose this game before he stops doing that? Panzer Grenadiers moving up into short range, forced to retreat right there. Tiger and Panzer IV haven't fully repaired, as have all allied tanks. Multi will move to take control of the left side fuel point once again. Squads reinforcing here in the base, and he is playing quite passively at this point. Not wanting to overextend anything, trying to work the victory points. Seems to be managing his expectations about what he's really going to be able to accomplish here, playing pretty defensively. If he overextends his tanks into Banana's territory and starts losing them one by one, he may find himself in a situation he cannot come back from. Banana's fuel harassment has been good enough that he's probably going to get another tiger soon. Once there's 2 tigers on the field, even this force will probably not be able to stand before them. This rifleman get driven over by the Sherman. But they're fine. They have Sherman-proof uniforms.
We've run into a Panzer IV! Get your men covering the approaches.
Couple squads making their way to engage. Or a couple tanks moving to push away that rifle squad. Gets away with a little bit of health remaining. Slightly over-aggressive maneuvering with the Sherman here. He's just trying to poke at that Tiger, but I think all he's really going to accomplish here is vetting it up unless he can make a really aggressive final maneuver on that thing. I don't know, it might go down. Next Jackson shot will bring it to a sliver if it connects. Trying to pull back to safety. Jackson doesn't have a line through this hedge. It should be fine. Time on target artillery, again, just totally futile. Just totally futile. He may as well just drop that on base structures because he's not going to hit tanks with it. He's dropped so much munitions and useless artillery this game, it's almost heartbreaking. He could have spent that on so much better stuff. As US forces, you have no shortage of munition sinks. You really don't need to be wasting it on off-map artillery that's not going to hit anything.
Alright, you dopes, listen up. Reinforcements in.
Oh well.
Welcome to the death factory, boys. Enemy forces are now down to 200 points. Hey, go find some Panzers. MG-42! Spread out! Gun batteries report barrage strikes now available in your sector.
Second Tiger's on the field, and this should be the mechanism with which Banana can make a pretty serious comeback. Second Jackson is in production in preparation though, so he's gonna... 2 Tigers versus 2 Jacksons is completely range dependent. If Tigers can get in range for a volley on a Jackson and destroy it, Tigers win. If they cannot get in range, then the Jacksons win. So on this map, Jacksons will probably win, unless Banana can pull off a particularly clever maneuver. In this general area, those riflemen just got completely crushed. They were not being monitored. Sherman's going deep on this particular infantry formation, but another Tiger's available to screen. They're taking heavy damage and have high explosive rounds equipped. The Panzer IV and this Tiger going in on that pair of Jacksons, and without the other Tiger available to support, this one's probably dead. I think Banana has accepted that this Tiger is pretty much screwed, but all shots are bouncing, and he's like, wow, if this thing's gonna get a main gun destroyed crit and a bounce, I guess I'll try and save it. Apparently it's gonna be fine. There's that Jackson. Ambulance goes down. 2 Shermans on the flank though. I don't know if this particular Tiger's gonna get to safety. These 2 tanks need to pull back because they're just about dead. Tiger sticks around to finish off the Jackson, but I don't know if that was a worthwhile trade, because if he loses this Tiger, which he's clearly going to, then really he probably could have saved this Tiger. Although trading a Jackson and a Sherman for a Tiger is not a bad trade by any means. But there it goes. Tiger's taken out. And it's a good thing that didn't get abandoned right there, because it was completely unsupported. That probably would have turned the game back in Multi's favor. Really lethal engagement right there. That was just carnage all around. Sherman's on the flank, wiped out most of Banana's infantry. He has no Grens left, just this Panzer Grenadier squad, Pyos, and 2 machine guns. Barely defending the middle. Meanwhile, on the American end of things, the Sherman is still alive. Both Jacksons destroyed. This Tiger survived thanks to the power of RNG. Main gun destroyed crit and a point blank range bounce from a Jackson. No reason for this Tiger to still be alive. It should be so dead. He wasn't even trying to save it. He had completely accepted the fact that this Tiger was dead. And only after RNG's granted him 2 consecutive miracles did the thought occur to him that he should even try and save it. So kind of feel sorry for Multi here at the end of things. In reality, this matchup should currently be 1 Panzer IV against 1 Sherman. We should be right back to the mid-game. But
Men are ready for action.
the dice just did not roll in Multi's favor in that particular engagement. He didn't get the lucky crits. BananaPajamas did. And now how he recovers from this situation will decide the remainder of the game. He does have a victory point lead. He's got some time. His next Jackson will be available soon, so we'll have a tool with which to contend with Banana's tanks. And Banana, hurting for manpower this badly, will not be able to afford another Tiger for a while. So the game's not over by any means. Still anybody's game. But Banana will find himself in the lead as a result of some lucky RNG. And if he can capitalize on that lead and get the victory points taken against his opponent, he could probably pull the game even. MG42 not doing too well. Mine placement over here. Teller mine. Unfortunately, nothing in range to support, and that Sherman should get fully repaired. That could have been a really horrible mistake by Multi if there were anything in range to capitalize on that, but unfortunately the Panzer IV is receiving repairs, Tiger's tied up in engagements for the center, and fortunately the stolen AT gun actually, he still does have this. This will still be a very good weapon to have. Utilizing that against his opponent's vehicles, he should be able to maintain control of the map at least a little. Jackson still isn't done. Sherman has to repair the damage from that Teller mine. He's not got a very powerful map presence right now. That AT gun has no support and needs to pull back a little bit. I don't think Banana should get this aggressive though. He should be careful if he dives straight into the US base. This could, if he makes an all-in push right here and it doesn't go his way, it could be very problematic. Tiger taking shots from range from the AT gun. It will bring that rifle squad low. Looks like they're gonna get away alive. Stuka close air support. That's what Banana has. That's his ace in the hole. He's gonna call in Stuka close air support, try and steal the game. This could be a huge burst depending on what it targets. Oh, it targets the Jackson. Look at the damage. Wow. Completely forced off the field. The next pass that plane makes could be devastating. He needs to spread his forces and get outside the strike zone. That Stuka may have already locked on for its second pass. This Sherman's in the strike zone. This Jackson's in the strike zone. Don't repair in the strike zone. That's a terrible idea. These infantry also in the strike zone. The next pass could be devastating. Whatever it decides to target. This infantry clump, the AT gun, the Sherman. It goes for the Sherman. Oh, it's off target. Just slightly off target because the Sherman's on the move, fortunately. The Stuka will make one more pass. The Sherman does expose itself in that advance, though. Panzer IV moves into close range, and the AT gun is not really available to support right now, and the Jackson is receiving repairs in the back. Time on target artillery drops over there. I don't think that really hit anything, though. Sherman falling dangerously low, but it will get clear of that Panzer IV, which disengages away from the stolen AT gun. Tiger moves to re-engage. Oh, there's the Stuka close air support third pass. Finishes the Sherman. Which is better than the Jackson going down, all things considered.
We're losing a capture point.
Because he really needs that Jackson in order to have a chance here. He really needs the AT gun, which just got decrewed. Needs to get that recrewed. Needs to bring all of his anti-tank firepower to bear against that, against this armor. Vet 3 on the Panzer IV, Vet 2 on the Tiger. It's just so strong. He's bleeding manpower like crazy. Finally, the Jackson re-engages. I don't think there's any anti-tank weaponry from Banana. But the game is over. Multi surrenders. If I'm being completely honest, I don't know if I think the game was over yet. It was pretty over. That was a pretty terrible engagement, but honestly, if he had recrewed that AT gun and made some miracle plays with his Jackson, maybe if Banana had gotten overly aggressive. I mean, yes, he was extremely behind, but he had a great victory point lead. I don't think the game is over yet. Personally, I don't know. I could be wrong. Once the next Tiger rolled onto the field, he probably could have just walked into the base and killed everything, so it was probably just a matter of time, but you never know when your opponent might throw the game. In a 50-minute game, anything is possible. GG, Axis wins.